Yeah, good morning to all. So today we will discuss something about deflection of beams. You can identify deflection by these two methods. So whenever you apply a force on a particular beam, right, what happens is it will deflect like this. Okay. So this point we call it as y, and this is deflected to a particular angle which is theta, right? So whenever I call as a deflection, so this deflection is always as two variables. We have to show these two variables, right? One is y, which is this distance, and another is theta. Theta is nothing but slope. We can also call it as dy by dx. Okay. Usually we use this approach, m by I is equal to E by R is equal to sigma by y. Now I am going to relate this to. When I relate this to, I will get something like this. M by EI is equal to 1 by R. Okay. So what I am going to do is I am going to identify a mathematical term for this. Right? Mathematical relation. What is the mathematical relation for this particular equation? Okay. So the equation R is depends on what is your radius of curvature. Different radius of curvature R. Okay. We'll identify that. Okay. So let me consider here. So I don't want to concentrate on all these things. So whatever it is, let me consider when I identify, I get 1 by R as d square by dx square. That's it. Which is written as m by ei is equal to d square by dx square. So where y, this y is what we call it as deflection. Okay. So this can be written like this: m of x is equal to ei d square by dx square, where m is moment of resistance, E is Young's modulus, I is your moment of inertia, and d square by dx square is a relation with respect to this. So now this m, how we identify this m value? Identify what is the bending moment at that particular point. This bending moment, which is m, right? This is m, which is we call it as ei d square by dx square. Okay. Of course, when I differentiate this d square by dx square, I'll get d cube y by dx cube, which is your shear force. So if I integrate this, so when I integrate this, right, when I make an integration, you will get ei dy by dx, so which is your slope. When I integrate this again, we will get y, which is your deflection. So we can identify deflection by using this procedure. We start from here. Because most of the time we won't get this shear force, right? So this is easy for us. So we will start from here. We'll identify what is our bending moment at that particular point. Then what we have to do to identify a slope, I will integrate once. To identify a deflection, again I will go into integrate again. Okay. So you are doing two integrations. You will get two constants. So we'll get two constants. So I want to identify what is the value of these constants. For example, let me consider you have C1 and C2. My aim is to identify what is the value of the C1 and C2. Right? To identify these values, I use something called as boundary condition. What is this boundary condition? It says what is the physical state of a particular problem. So it says a physical state of a particular problem. Right? Let me consider you have a simply similar again. So my x dy by dx and x, this x is a variable which starts from left hand side. This is my x. When x is equal to 0, it is nothing but point A. When x is 0, you will get point A. When x is L by 2, you will get C. When x is equal to L, you will get P. So, when I increase the value of x accordingly, so if I consider this as L, right? So whenever I change the values accordingly, I will get some points. Okay, the load is applied here, right? When I apply, and after you apply the load, you can able to see your object is deflected like this. So I can say at A, do you have deflection Y?
No, no,
No.
sir.
So you don't have deflection at point A. Similarly, at B, do you have any deflection? No.
No.
So there is no deflection at point A or at point B. So I will call this as a boundary condition. What is this boundary condition? When x is equal to 0, my y is 0. When x is L, my y is 0. This is your boundary condition. So it changes, depends on different types of beams. Right? It changes, it depends on different types of beams. Right? So that's why I say that this boundary condition indicates the physical model of a particular problem. Okay? And we consider these are the boundary conditions for different cases. This is for a simply supported beam. When x is equal to 0, y is 0. This is what we discussed. When x is equal to L, y is 0. These two we discussed. We have not discussed about this term. We discussed only about y. We have not discussed about what happens to a slope. There is another thing called as symmetrical loading condition. What is a symmetrical loading condition? So as I told you, when I cut the beam at the center, the load should be equalized. Or I can say that your reaction is always equal. RA is equal to RB. In that case, we call that as a symmetrical loading conditions. So for symmetrical loading condition, what happens is you will have maximum deflection at the center. Only at the center you will have maximum deflection. So central maximum deflection na in the if you look after what happens to your slope. So this location at the center, you will have an horizontal line, which means your slope is 0. Your theta is horizontal, which means you don't have any slope, right? Slope is 0. So that is the condition. When it is a symmetrical loading case, at the center, when x is equal to L by 2, dy by dx is 0. We can also use this as additional boundary condition for symmetrical loading case. Right? Mostly we have to use this only for symmetrical loading case, not for unsymmetrical loading cases. Okay? Let me go for this overhanging beam. So let me consider you have a beam, you have a load, whatever it is. So the support is only this point. So when I apply a force, what happens? You will have a deflection, something like this. Okay, whatever it is. We don't know how it will be. But இங்கெல்லாம் லோடு இருந்ததுன்னா இங்க எப்படி டிஃப்ரெக்ட் ஆகும், இங்க லோடு இருந்ததுன்னா இப்படி டிஃப்ரெக்ட் ஆகும். So it is a combination of a cantilever and a simply supported beam. So we don't know where it will be. So I will consider two conditions. When x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. This is one condition. When x is equal to a, y is equal to 0. That is another condition. Right? When x is equal to L, y is maximum is not a condition actually. It will change accordingly. It may be maximum here also. Right? So, but these are the two boundary conditions we are going to use. So for a cantilever beam, look at cantilever beam. So cantilever is having different category. Right? It's not simply supported because this end is fixed. Right? When it is fixed, you are bending. This bending will be like this. So it will be like this. So you can able to see, you will get something horizontal line here at this point, not here. Okay. Whereas in this case, wherever you have deflection, maximum deflection, you will have this dy by dx 0. Whereas this is different. So here, when x is equal to 0, y is 0, and dy by dx is also 0. So at this point, both y is 0 and dy by dx both are 0. Theta is also 0. When x is equal to L, both are maximum. That is the difference in a cantilever beam. Now, these are the different methods we use to calculate this deflection. So we have double integration method. So mostly this method is used for symmetrical loading case. Unsymmetrical, it is very, very difficult. So we use, I have just mentioned how you are going to, what is the application of this particular different methods. It is only for symmetrical loading case. Okay, double integration method. The next is Macaulay's method. Here we can go for any loading cases. This too is purely depends on integration, right? It is a mathematical approach. This too is mathematical approach. Okay. Next we have this two moment area method and conjugate beam method. So moment area is similar to your double integration. It is applicable only for symmetrical loading cases, whereas conjugate beam for any loading case and for different cross section. In Macaulay's, it is not possible to solve different cross section. So not possible for variable cross sections, right? So when I say variable cross section, you have a beam in which half of the beam is a rectangular shape, the next half is a square shape. So there's a change in your beam, right? Something like that. So when you apply a load, what happens? So that thing, you can't able to solve this. So this is applicable only when the beam is constant throughout the entire thing. Whereas in conjugate beam, you can apply for that also. Okay. So this two approach, we use bending moment diagram. The last one is a strain energy approach. This is a different approach by using energy methods, right? This is based on energy method. So like kinetic energy, potential energy, so you have strain energy. We use this concept to identify. I think in thermodynamics you will be learning something like energies. So on the very concept solving a particular problem. So that one is energy method. So now we'll go for this double integration. Little bit concept. ஏன்னா இது தெரியாம நம்ம வந்து மெக்கானிக்ஸ் போக முடியாது, difficult. So first you identify this d square by dx. So you identify what is the m value. Integrate it, right? When I integrate, I will get slope. You will get a constant. Again integrate. You will get two constants. Apply the boundary condition for these constants. Then find out what is the reflection and find out what is the slope. இதுதான் கான்செப்ட், வேற எதுவுமே இல்லை. ஸோ எம் கண்டுபிடிக்கிறோம், எம்ஐ பேஸ் பண்ணி இன்டகிரேட் பண்ணி ஸ்லோப் கண்டுபிடிக்கிறோம், இன்டகிரேட் பண்ணி டிஃப்ளெக்ஷன் கண்டுபிடிக்கிறோம். That's it, right? So very simple concept. So we'll be using this concept. Okay. So this is deflection for a beam. So I'm going to apply this. So first let me write what is the formula for that. Integral x power n. Integral x power n is x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. Of course, plus c, some constant. Okay. So we'll be using this. Let me consider this. So you have a simply supported beam with a point load. It is not pin load, sorry. Point load at its center. So in that case, how you are going to solve this particular, you are identify the reflection, right? Okay, let me consider. Let me draw this beam. So this is my beam. So in which this is my point A, and this is my point B, and you have point load at the center W. So this one will be L by 2, and this also L by 2. So these are the locations. Can you tell me what will be the reaction for this symmetrical loading case? So your reaction will be W by 2 and W by 2. We will be solving it. We will be identifying moment from left to right. So bending moment is taken from left to right. So my convenient is from left to right. Okay. So because I am going to take this as x, so in order to avoid confusion, I will be always taking it from left to right. Okay. When I take from left to right, right, your moment. So because we are not going to concentrate on shear force, your moment. So clockwise moment is positive, anti-clockwise is negative. When I take from left to right, clockwise is positive and anti-clockwise is negative. So we're going to go for that approach. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a section xx. I'm going to take this as xx. Okay. So this distance is x. Okay. So what will be this distance? So the total distance is x. This is L by 2. So this will be x minus L by 2. Okay. Let me take moment at x. So moment at location x. So mx is equal to, you have two loads. This is one load, this is another load. Let me consider the first load. It is rotating in clockwise direction, positive. W by 2 into x. W by 2 into x. This one is anti-clockwise. So minus W into x minus L by 2. So what is this moment? According to our mathematical relation. So moment is EI d square y by dx square. So this is this moment, which is W by 2x minus W into x minus L by 2. So what I will do is I am going to integrate this twice. When I integrate it, I will get the values accordingly. So this one, this entire thing is a variable actually. You should not separate it, which means when I integrate it, this entire thing is a variable, because if the s changes, based on that your the x minus L by 2 will change. So this entire term is a variable. So when I integrate it, you have to integrate as a whole term. You should not integrate as a separate one. So which means when I integrate this, it should not be x square by 2 minus L by 2x. So that is wrong. Instead, it has to be x minus L by 2 the whole square by 2. So keep in mind, so in any double integration method or whatever method, whatever we discuss in this particular unit, you should consider this as a whole term when you integrate it. Okay. So which means this entire thing is, you can consider as capital X. So capital X square by 2. So similar to this one. So that is how you have to differentiate. Sorry, integrate it. Okay. Right. Yes, we can proceed. Now what I am going to do is I am going to identify. So I am going to write this equation. So what is my equation? We call this as EI, right? D square y by dx square, that is my x, mx. This is equal to w by 2x minus w into x minus L by 2. So now what I have to do is, since I need to solve this, I have to integrate this once first. When I integrate, this d square by dx square will become dy by dx, which is your slope. So let me do that. So we'll get EI dy by dx. EI dy by dx will be equal to w by 2. This x, when I integrate it, you will get x square by 2. X square by 2 minus w. X minus L by 2 you have to integrate as a whole term, as I told you earlier. So what I have to do is, when I integrate this will be x minus L by 2 the whole square divided by 2. Don't multiply this inside and do that, so you won't get the right answer. So this is how you have to integrate it. Okay, as a whole term, because this is the entire thing as a variable. So you have to integrate, you got to consider as a variable to solve it. Okay, so let me consider, this is the first equation. I call this as equation number 1. So this is equation number 1. Now let me proceed with, again, let me go for integration. So when I integrate, so this equation we call it as a slope equation. Next we integrate it again, which we get EI y, which is equal to w by 4 is a common term, I can take it out. X square, when I integrate it, you will get x cube by 3 minus w by 2, I will take it out. X minus L by 2, when I, the whole square, when I integrate it, you will get x minus L by 2 the whole cube divided by 3. So this is my second one, right? This is my second equation. Okay, so we call this as equation 2. So I got two equations now. One is related with your slope. The other is related with your diffraction. Okay. So these are the equation. So I will write it. This is my slope equation. And this is your deflection equation. So I got it. Now, what I have to do is I have to apply my boundary conditions. Sorry, I think I left my one important term, which is C1 and C2, right? So when I integrate it, I'll get plus C1. So that is my first term. So when I integrate this again, I'll get plus C1x plus C2. I'm going to apply my boundary conditions. So do not identify the values of the C1 and C2. I have to go for boundary conditions. So boundary conditions. So for double integration method, there is a rule for the boundary condition. Rule. So what is the rule for double integration method? You have to choose boundary condition nearer to your sections. Nearer to the section XX. Okay. So this is applicable only for double integration method. So in other methods, you can directly apply it. So whatever boundary condition you can apply it. But for this method, you have to choose a boundary condition which is near to your section. Right? Okay, let me go for your boundary condition. Let me consider this is my beam. Right? This is my beam. What are the boundary conditions I have? So for this particular beam, I will write out what are the conditions. The first one, when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. That is my first condition, which is applicable here. Next one, similar to that, when x is equal to L, y is equal to 0. This is my second boundary condition, which is applicable here. And for double integration, right, it is always double integration. You can apply it only for symmetrical loading conditions, which means at the center, you don't have slope. So for symmetrical boundary, any symmetrical beam, center your slope will be 0, but your y will be maximum. So there is a third condition here, which is when x is equal to L by 2, dy by dx is equal to 0, or okay, dy by dx is equal to 0. These are my boundary conditions. Now look at here where I have taken my section. I have taken my section here. So this is my section. Think about it. What is your particular boundary conditions you want to apply? When you look here, the boundary conditions what you have to solve is nearer to this section, which is I have to use this boundary condition and I can use this boundary condition. I can't use this one. I identified what is my boundary conditions here because my boundary conditions is related to nearer to my x-axis, which is this one and this one. So I will write my boundary condition when x is equal to L by 2, dy by dx is 0. This is my first condition. And my second condition is when x is equal to L, y is equal to 0. Right? This is my second condition. Okay, let me apply the first condition. Let me consider the first boundary condition. I am going to apply the first boundary condition. Let me take equation 1. Let me apply it. Right? dy by dx. dy by dx. Apply it 0. So because dy by dx is 0 is equal to w by 4. I am taking this out. X square. X is L by 2. So x square by 2 is L square by 4. Sorry, x square is L square by 4, right? So because this 2 I have taken it out. Okay. Minus w by 2 is a common term. here L by 2, when I apply x is equal to L by 2, that becomes 0. So plus C1. So which means I will get C1 which is equal to W L square by 8. Sorry, 60. I think minus. Now we will go for equation 2. Second boundary condition. Second boundary condition deals with equation 2. And we consider what is my equation. So EIY is equal to W by 4 x cube by 3 minus W by 2 x minus L by 2 the whole cube by 3 plus C1x plus C2. Right? Let me apply it. When x is equal to L, y is equal to 0. So y is 0 here. X is L. So W by 12, I am taking it out. X is L. When I substitute it, we will get L cube minus W by 6, right? L minus L by 2. We will get L square, L by 2 the whole cube. L by 2 the whole cube. Plus C1 into L by 2. Yes. So this is how I am getting it. So C2 plus C2.
Sorry, C1 into L by L, sir.
Sorry. Thank you. So C1 into L plus C2, right? So I will write it. So my aim is to identify the C2. So which means C2 will be equal to, right? I am taking the other terms, other on the other side. So let me consider this will be a positive value here. So W by 6 2s are 12. Sorry. Again, I am making a mistake. Right? So okay, W by 6. 2 cube, right? 2 cube is 8. So L cube by 8 minus WL cube by 12 plus minus C1L. Because this is the term I will get. Okay. Now I can substitute the C1 here. Right? I can substitute the C1 here to identify the values. So C2 will be equal to WL cube by. So in this term, you can able to see all are WL cube. So I can take that out. Right? C2 will be WL cube. I can take it out. Remaining 1 by 48 minus 1 by 12 plus 1 by 16. What is the value you are getting? Right. So when you solve this, you are getting 0. Doesn't matter. Okay. So this is it. Now let me write what is my final equation. Right. So I am going to write what is my slope equation. Minus WL square by 16. I will call this as equation 3. Okay. Next, let me write down what is my deflection equation. So my equation is this one. So this entire term will be my deflection equation. But what is the difference here? I don't have C2. Similarly, C1 will be C1x, right? So what will be this? Minus WL square by 16x. This is my equation 4. So this is your overall equation. So where I can able to identify deflection at any point of my beam. So this is my beam. This is my beam. So if where you will have maximum deflection? When slope is 0. So for simplicity of a beam, when slope is 0, you will get maximum deflection. So my slope is 0 at x is equal to L by 2. So I'll get maximum deflection when x is equal to L by 2. So let me identify what is my maximum deflection. When x is equal to L by 2. I am going to substitute it here. Right? I am going to substitute. I am going to identify y. So if I identify dy by dx, what will you get? Can you guess?
Zeros.
Yeah, very good, very good. So you will get 0, right? When I apply this L by 2 in this, you'll get 0, right? This is a particular verification for you to check whether whatever you have done is right or not. Okay, now let us identify what is my maximum deflection. So I'm going to substitute in equation 4. So EI for difference, I'm putting Y max because I'll get maximum deflection. That's why I'm putting this Y max is equal to W by 12 is a common term, X cube. So X cube will be L by 2 the whole cube. So what will get? I will directly write out L cube by 8. Okay, minus W by 6 is a common term here. L by 2, if we substitute, it will become 0. Minus WL square by 16. X, when I substitute it, you will get L by 2. Okay. So what you will get? WL cube by, what is this?
96.
96 minus WL cube by this one?
Sir, 32.
32. Right? What will get?
Minus 2 WL cube by 96.
Minus
2 WL cube by 96.
Okay, minus 2 WL cube by 96. Which means I can cancel this. Right? What will get? Minus WL cube by
48.
48. Which means I can write as Y max is minus WL cube by 48 EI. Right? This is my final answer. So this negative indicates that your deflection is downward direction. I'm going to say solve the same problem by taking the section in a different location. Okay? Now let me consider. So this is my beam. Now let me consider. I have a section here. Okay? Let me consider I have a section here. So in that case, this is X. Okay, I'm coming from left to right. I'm coming from left to right as earlier because this is what I am taking. So I am going to take bending moment from left to right. Right? Left to right now idu mattum da eduthukom. The path mattum. What will get? What is mx? Force into Papaya distance. W by 2 into x. Right? Rotation, it is in clockwise direction. Minus. Sorry. Yes, clockwise is plus. Thank you. Plus W by 2 x. You have only this term. Okay. Now, I know that this is EI d square by dx square. This is equal to W by 2x. Okay. So I need slope. Let me integrate this EI dy by dx is equal to W by 2 x square by 2 plus C1. I will call this as equation 1. Next. Again, let me integrate it. You have EIY is equal to W by 4 is common now. X square integrating it, you will get x cube by 3 plus C1x plus C2. So this is my second equation. Let me call this as equation 2. Now, boundary condition. So that is important. What is my boundary condition? In this case, when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. That is my first condition. My second condition is when x is equal to L by 2, dy by dx is equal to 0. So the first one is I'm going to apply equation 2. Right? The reason is I need to identify C1 before solving this equation C2. Right? C1 தெரிஞ்சாதான் இங்க substitute பண்ண முடியும். அதனால வந்து first வந்து dy by dx என்ன இருக்கோ அந்த equation எடுத்துக்கிறேன். Right? Which means second boundary condition I'm going to solve first. The second boundary condition I am applying it in equation 1. Right? So when I apply in equation 1, so when I substitute in equation 1, what will get? So when x is equal to L by 2, dy by dx is 0. So 0 is equal to W by 4 L square. When I multiply, you will get again L square by 4 plus C1. So we'll get C1 is equal to minus WL square by 16. So similar to your previous method. In the previous நம்ம x எடுக்கும்போது என்ன C1 கிடைச்சதோ அதே C1 தான். So again minus WL square by 16. So same thing here also. Now let me apply in equation 2. When x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. Apply it 0, 0, 0. Everything is become 0. Automatically you will get C2 is equal to 0. Now I got two different equations, differential equations. What is my slope equation? So I don't have this one. So which will be minus WL square by 16. This my slope equation. So I may call this as equation number 3. Similarly, let me go for deflection equation. In deflection equation, I will get this one. This will be my deflection equation. Yeah, here you can able to see this terms is not there, so we'll get minus WL square by 16x. Right? This is my equation 4. Okay. Now, similar to that, if I want maximum deflection, when I get maximum deflection when x is equal to L by 2, substitute in equation 4, you will get EI y max is equal to W by 12 L by 2 the whole cube. You will get L cube by 8 minus WL square by 16 into L by 2. So what will get? Similarly, WL cube by 96, I think so, minus WL cube by 32. Same equation, I think so. This one. And I solve, I'll get minus WL cube by 48. Right? So y max will be minus WL cube by 48 EI. You can able to see the difference. So இதுல equation பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரெண்டு term தான் இருக்கு. ஆனா இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா மூணு term இருக்கு. 1, 2, 3 terms இருக்கு. But anyway, when you solve, you will get the same answer. So these equations can be used to identify deflection at any point. இப்போ வந்து எனக்கு வந்து இதான் என்னோட simply separate beam. Let me consider this as a bench. So benchல வந்து ரெண்டு பேர் ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் இங்க உட்கார்றாங்க. Right? சென்டர்ல உட்கார்றாங்க. அப்படின்னா bench எப்படி வளையுது? So x is equal to, for example, you have a bench for 10 meter. So 2 meterல எங்க வளையுது? What will be the deflection? அப்படி எப்படி வளையுதுன்னு ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணனும்னா at 2 meter, for example. Right? If I want to identify, then I can substitute x is equal to 2. I will get what will be the deflection at that particular location too. Similarly, at any location, I can able to identify what will be my deflection. We'll stop here. Tomorrow, we will discuss about this Macaulay's method.